recording. Yeah, please close your eyes and focus on your breathing. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. As you breathe in lot of positive energy. And as you breathe out worries, breathe out anxiety, breathe out your constant need to search the answers, and breathe out unawareness. Keep breathing in lot of positive energy. Slowly come back to your normal breathing. And let's invoke all the loving, healing, guiding, protecting, and supporting masters. Our angel guides, our highest consciousness, frequency of love, radical consciousness, and the prime resource energy. Thank them. Seek their blessings, seek their guidance and help. Seek answers and solutions. Seek alignment with prosperity consciousness, your life purpose and the greater purpose. Take a deep breath, gather all your energies from wherever they are, and then come back to your body. Thank you. Let me open a reading for today's recitation. The chakra is PR5, and it's the middle of the wrist in alignment with the little finger. It's the right polite denial chakra. What you resist tends to persist. Even though you are expected to accept all that comes your way, if you are saying yes out of compliance to the will of your higher self, but out of a need, to comply with others in order to escape unpleasant consequences, you are being unfair to you and your soul level commitment. If you are unable to say no, please introspect and enlist the reasons for not saying no. If there is an element of avoidance or escapism in your effort to say yes against your will, it is best you say no and face the consequence. For all that you are avoiding, it could be far better what you are going through by saying yes against your wishes. Many a times it so happens that we don't want to say yes, but we certainly say yes out of compulsion. Out of compulsion of, of a fear of being rejected, out of a compulsion of holding on to a certain relationship, out of a compulsion that if I say no, the other person will get hurt, and I don't want to hurt them. It's okay if I have to compromise with my will and my wishes. There are many other ways where we say yes when we don't want to say yes. And whatever we are trying to avoid by saying yes, say for example, if you are avoiding saying, uh, if you are avoiding, hurting others by saying no, even with your yes, the person may still get hurt at some point of time. And then you may wonder, I didn't wanted this, but yet it happened. You may not know the reason, but then Redikall can show you the reason. Because by saying yes when you actually wanted to say no, first thing, you are out of integrity. Second, you are hurting yourself by saying yes to them and by saying no to yourself. And when you are hurting yourself, the other person, being your mirror image, will also get hurt. And we seldom realize this. So today, beautifully, masters, our highest consciousness, Redikall, are guiding us. Take courage to say no when you actually want to say no. And when you are saying no, check with yourself. Check, is your no in alignment with your higher consciousness will? Are you saying no, or are you saying yes to avoid certain things? Then you better say no and face the consequence, which is far better than the consequence of your saying yes. Who would like to repeat the statements?
Ma'am, can I try?
Yes, please. Thank you so much, Soumya.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, hi, Sheetal.
Hello.
We'll start the recitation now. IR5, my polite denial.
I R5 my polite denial.
IR5, my polite denial.
I R5 my polite denial.
IR5, my polite denial.
I R5 my polite denial.
I R5 my inability to say no to others.
I R5 my inability to say no to others.
I R5 my inability to say no to others.
I R5 my inability to say no to others.
I R5 my inability to say no to others.
I R5 my inability to say no to others.
I R5 my fear of hurting others when I say no to others.
I R5 my fear of hurting others when I say no to others.
I R5 my fear of saying no to others. Fear of hurting others when I say no to others.
I R5 my fear of hurting others when I say no to others.
I R5 my fear of hurting others when I say no to others.
I R5 my fear of hurting others when I say no to others.
I R5 my fear of being rejected when I say no.
I R5 my fear of being rejected when I say no.
I R5 my fear of being rejected when I say no.
I R5 my fear of being rejected when I say no.
I R5 my fear of being rejected when I say no.
I R5 my fear of being rejected when I say no.
I R5 my belief that I must always give a positive answer.
I R5 my belief that I must always give a positive answer.
I R5 my belief that I must always give a positive answer.
I R5 my belief that I always must give a positive answer.
I R5 my belief that I must always give a positive answer.
I R5 my belief that I must always give a positive answer.
I R5 my belief that saying no is negative.
I R5 my belief that saying no is negative.
I R5 my belief that saying no is negative.
I R5 my belief that saying no is negative.
I R5 my belief that saying no is negative.
I R5 my belief that saying no is negative.
I R5 my compulsive need to fulfill others' requirements.
I R5 my compulsive need to fulfill others' requirements.
I R5 my compulsive need to fulfill others' requirements.
I R5 my compulsive need to fulfill others' requirements.
I R5 my compulsive need to fulfill others' requirements.
I R5 my compulsive need to fulfill others' requirements.
I R5 my need for approval from others.
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 I R5 my need to win others' heart by giving them materialistic things.
I R5 my need to win others' heart by giving them materialistic things.
I R5 my need to win others' heart by giving them materialistic things.
I R5 my need to win others' heart by giving them materialistic things.
I R5 my need to win others' heart by giving them materialistic things.
I R5 my need to win others' heart by giving them materialistic things.
I R5 my need to neglect myself and do things for others.
I R5 my need to neglect myself and do things for others.
I R5 my need to neglect myself and do things for others.
I R5 my need to neglect myself and do things for others.
I R5 my need to neglect myself and do things for others.
I R5 my need to neglect myself and do things for others.
I R5 my self disapproval.
I R5 my self-disapproval.
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 I R5 my inability to fulfill my needs.
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 I R5 my need to be a sacrificing person.
I R5 my need to be a sacrificing person.
I R5 my need to be a sacrificing person.
I R5 my need to be a sacrificing person.
I R5 my need to be a sacrificing person.
I R5 my need to be a sacrificing person.
I R5 my fear of becoming selfish when I say no to
I
others.
R5 my fear of becoming selfish when I say no to others.
I R5 my fear of becoming selfish when I say no to others.
I R5 my fear of becoming selfish when I say no to others.
I R5 my fear of becoming selfish when I say no to others.
I R5 my fear of becoming selfish when I say no to others.
I R5 my fear of being criticized when I decline others' demands.
I R5 my fear of being criticized when I decline others' demands.
I R5 my fear of being criticized when I decline others' demands.
I R5 my fear of being criticized when I decline others' demands.
I R5 my fear of being criticized when I decline others' demands.
I R5 my fear of being criticized when I decline others' demands.
I R5 my need to tolerate others' offensive behavior when I say no.
I R5 my need to tolerate others' offensive behavior when I say no.
I R5 my need to tolerate others' offensive behavior when I say no.
I R5 my need to tolerate others' offensive behavior when I say no.
I R5 my need to tolerate others' offensive behavior when I say no.
I R5 my need to tolerate others' offensive behavior when I say no.
I R5 my need to avoid unpleasant situations
I
by
R5 my need
saying yes.
I R5 my need to avoid unpleasant situations by saying yes.
I R5 my need to avoid unpleasant situations by saying yes.
I R5 my need to avoid unpleasant situations by saying yes.
I R5 my need to avoid unpleasant situations by saying yes.
I R5 my need to avoid unpleasant situations by saying yes.
I R5 my need to my fear of being misunderstood.
I R5 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 my worry of not getting cooperation when I say no.
I R5 my fear of not getting cooperation when I say no.
I R5 my fear of not getting cooperation when I say no.
I R5 my fear of not getting cooperation when I say no.
I R5 my fear of not getting cooperation when I say no.
I R5 my fear of not getting cooperation when I say no.
I R5 my regret of being unfair to myself by saying yes to others.
I R5 my regret of saying, sorry ma'am.
I R5 my regret of being unfair to myself by saying yes to others.
I R5 my regret of being unfair to myself by saying yes to others.
I R5 my fear of I R5 my need to be unfair to myself by saying yes to others.
I R5 my need to be unfair to myself by saying yes to others.
I R5 my need to be unfair to myself by saying yes to others.
I R5 my need to be unfair to myself by saying yes to others.
I R5 my association of disharmony with my no.
I R5 my association of my disharmony with my no.
I R5 my association of disharmony with my saying no.
I R5 my association of disharmony with my saying no.
I R5 my association of disharmony with my saying no.
I R5 my association of disharmony with my saying no.
Okay, what's happening with others? Yeah, Bhuwana. Okay, my need to be a sacrificial good. Yeah,
Ma'am, I'm
we did that,
feeling
right?
little heavy.
You're feeling little heavy. Okay, which part of your body is
Heavy and
feeling?
nauseous suddenly.
Okay, which part is feeling heavy?
Head.
Which part of
Head
your
and
head?
chest. Head and chest. The front forehead.
Mm-hmm. Okay, okay. I R5 my fear of breaking my promises when I say no.
I R5 my fear of breaking my promises when I say no.
I R5 my fear of breaking my promises when I say no.
I R5 my fear of breaking my promises when I say no.
I R5 my fear of breaking promises when I say no.
I R5 my fear of breaking my promises when I say no.
I R5 my anticipation of consequences of breaking my promises.
I R5 my anticipation of breaking my promises
Consequences
or
of breaking promises.
I R5 my
I R5
association of
anticipation of
I R5 my anticipation of
consequences of breaking my promises.
consequences of breaking my promises.
I R5 anticipation of consequences of breaking my promises.
I R5 anticipation of consequences for breaking my promises.
What's happening, Sheetal? How is your
There's
head?
slight, yeah, there is slight burping.
Hmm.
Okay, I think actually this resonates so much with what happened today. I mean, not promised. I had asked my mom that I would be coming today, but I couldn't go. So that
Hmm.
entire day, that thing was there,
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Even when we say we want to go, and for some reason, if it doesn't happen,
Yeah. And today it was my
still.
dad's Shraddh. So I I
Ah.
I told her 4-5 days back, but then kal kuch aisa 2-3 baar heated wo ho gaya. So I just quit and I thought I better stay back in my space in peace and connect with my dad
Hmm.
rather than, and let her also be in peace. But then after taking that step also there was a lot of discomfort.
Correct.
So I think that is why, and this has come up so
Yeah.
apt.
Yeah. Yes, dear, tell me, Joy.
Mamta, I think this resonated for today's topic. Actually, I was talking to Divya before
Mm-hmm.
joining the recitation,
Mm-hmm.
and usually we have these normal conversation and but general insights about what to do and everything. Today, she said, just join today's recitation. You never know, you might get an answer. And the discussion what we and Divya had was exactly the same thing. I can't say no. It's like I'm like more like a people pleaser, and
Yeah.
it was one of the incident where I need to say no, and I was hesitant. I was like, how will I say no and what to do? There was no clarity. I was all over the place. I was quite of anxious and thing. I think after doing the recitation and as listening, I think I'm much calmer. And when you started saying that whether you say yes or a no, the consequences are the same. And
Yeah.
that was the answer that I received today. So that thank you so much.
Most welcome. Because check with yourself, like how you said, there will be anxiety when you say yes, when you actually want to say no.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know, that yes doesn't come out of your mouth easily.
Yeah.
Okay. And there
Yeah.
is kind of palpitations.
Mhm.
Suddenly, you sweat,
Mhm.
your palms sweat. A lot of things happen. Connect to your body.
It was very evident, like you said, I was just not able to be myself. It was so much of, like you said, now I'm at peace, but that just when I was discussing with Divya just before the recitation, right? I was not inside the body. It was like palpitation was high. I'm sweating, sweaty palms. And yeah, I think that made sense when you have to say no. It's okay to say no. And
Absolutely.
it's fine. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Ultimately, um, we think we have come here to fulfill and satisfy everybody. Like others, we also have come here to experience, to complete all my commitments at the soul level. Go through the experiences that we have asked, um, that we have carved ourselves, that we have made a blueprint over there. Okay. When we come here, anyway, we are aware, but as we grow, we forget, because anyway, if I'm meant to experience fulfillment, then because of the duality on this planet Earth, I start experiencing total unfulfillment. No matter how much I do, I don't feel fulfilled. And then it keeps us going on and on and on. Now, when we raise our consciousness, we understand that fulfillment gives us another step to grow. Fulfillment is not the end result, doesn't happen at the end. That's why completion, happiness, fulfillment, contentment, love, these are all associated with stagnation and or death. When we start raising our consciousness, um, you use any modality, and we are very beautifully using Redikall R5 Recitation, Soul's Love, Transform and Transcend, you know, um, solve, dissolve, accept and embrace. Everything will help us raise our consciousness, and we understand that it is totally possible to experience fulfillment and grow once again. And when we experience fulfillment, we inspire others to also experience fulfillment. Many a times it so happens, behind you, you may not know who are there, but behind you, there are certain people who are looking up to you. Like how you look up to somebody. Okay? There are also people who are looking up to you, and when you do that, they want to follow you. And when you don't take that step, you are stagnating and you are also blocking others' steps. And now that will give a space for huge guilt then. Over here, we can bypass. I'm not telling we can avoid, we can bypass. You know, there are high lanes, bypass roads everywhere. You don't have to go inside and get stuck in the traffic. You take a bypass. You're not causing any hindrance to anybody. You are not stagnating. And you are on the road, on the path. So you can bypass many of these things, unpleasantness, and move forward very easily. And it's absolutely safe to say no. Soumya, how are you feeling?
Actually, good, ma'am, because every sentence made sense. Because saying no has always been my. It was a very huge thing for me till I joined Radical. So and so much we have learned, and this is always something that we want to keep reinforcing in ourselves. You know that it's okay to say no. It's not that we are being unfair or anything. It is just it's okay to be fair for ourselves sometimes. So it's very reassuring, ma'am. Beautiful. Thank you.
It is important to be fair to ourselves.
Yes.
It's not just okay, it's very important.
Yeah.
Because
I realized that.
when,
Yeah.
when we are not fair to ourselves, others also become very unfair to us.
Yes, ma'am.
Because at the subconscious level, you know, their subconscious and our subconscious communicates. Now, what is there in my subconscious? That I'm unfair to myself. So what is the message that goes over there? Oh, this person needs to be treated unfairly. Give them. They do not intend, others do not intend to treat us unfairly. We need to understand that.
It is our need to be treated that way because that's how we've conditioned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't, if we are fair to ourselves, then people also will be fair to us. Or it so happens that people who want to treat others unfairly, they may just fizzle out of our lives. And it has happened. And it happens. So first ask yourself why I want to say yes, or even why I want to say no. For example, child comes and asks, Mama, can I go out? No. Right?
Right.
No, I want to go.
So, ma'am,
Yeah, tell me.
so that's okay. I mean, today I said no to my mom, तो वो काफी heavy हो गया था मेरे लिए. But I
Forgive
just
yourself,
wanted to
Sheetal. There
be.
is a guilt story. There is a guilt story. Okay?
So, ma'am, when we are in conflict, like we've said no, and then we feel, are we saying no because we are looking out for ourselves? And did we actually need to look out for ourselves at that time? Could we not have this thing? We are always in that stage. Does that mean that there is somewhere a need for guilt, which is why we are driving ourselves into that kind of a confusion?
Uh, some stories are of guilt. I don't say all
Okay.
the stories are of guilt.
Then how do we demarcate that kind of confusion like that? Then, like you said, we have to see why are we saying no? Are we escaping something?
Say,
Is that
for example, now it's already it's 7:30 in the evening. Say, for
hmm,
example. Okay? Now
yeah,
your child wants to, the child has played and come, and now the child wants to go back again.
hmm,
Now you can tell the child, sorry, you have played and come. Okay?
hmm,
Now it's time to sit for your studies. Or you sit for your practice, or whatever it is. If someone is practicing dance, someone is practicing music or anything like that, it is time for that. There you can say no.
okay,
Because now there is also a logical reasoning here. Even though we don't look for logical reasoning, here you
hmm,
can definitely give that.
okay, yes,
Okay? Or you
hmm,
can definitely ask, you just know you came from a thing. But what's the reason that you would again want to go out? Is it so important? The
okay,
child may say, yes, yes, it's very important. My friend is calling. Then check with the child. What time are you coming back? I can give you 10 minutes or 15 minutes.
hmm,
So now you're saying yes, but also putting a line over there that, you're expected back over at this time. Not because it's going to be late or anything like that. Because you have a work to do, you complete your work.
correct.
Not because of any other things.
Okay, so if we just look at the situation the way it is without having too much of additives to it, like should I do this? Should I just go with what comes? Then we are taking the right decision. Is that what how we?
Yeah. Just look at that.
Okay.
And even when you say it applies to both, whether you say yes or no.
Hmm. Yes comes very easily, ma'am. It's the no that is a struggle
That's why,
for us.
children are very smart. You say no, they go to the father.
Yeah,
Okay?
that is very, very,
Or
very
the
true.
father says no, they come to the mother.
Yeah.
Now both of you say no, they go to the grandparents.
Yeah, very true. And this no
Okay?
thing carries over even with other people, where it becomes like in Hindi, that dharam sankat kind of thing, no?
Mm.
We know that saying no is the right thing, but how to say no? That I think all of us struggle with that.
मुझे लगता है जब
Because,
no बोलते हैं ना, we go on a roller coaster ride only after that.
wow, wow.
Yeah.
That's because when you say no, um, your no doesn't just come from you, it also come from the baggages. Baggages
Correct.
where you have seen maybe your mother saying no to your father, and then seeing a lot of drama, hangama, or vice versa. Maybe your sibling saying no to your parents, and then seeing a big hangama and drama. Okay? Now the young mind perceives, oh my God, if I say, I mean, the no is causing so much of drama,
Hmm.
so much of chaos. I better not say no. Somewhere at some point, we just decide. Now,
Okay.
as we start the R5 statement, without us consciously knowing, the R5 statements will go into those points and then touch and then shift the, they put it on the right folder. And they make it like, it's absolutely safe to say no or yes when you want to. Especially, I mean, yes is easy. So it's absolutely safe to say no, because when you are saying no, you are being truthful to yourself.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
You are in integrity with yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
You may have experienced, you want to say no, but you have said yes. After that, you might have seen people around you telling lies to you. And you are very, very angry. How can they do this? How can they cheat? Okay? That's because when you wanted to say no, you have said yes.
That's a huge revelation, ma'am. Thank you. I thought of it like that.
Okay?
Today was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank
Pretty
you.
much
Thank you.
clear, ma'am. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So
Every statement resonated. Very, very nice.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Good night. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, ma'am. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.